you have you have a great social media following, right? So I think you got what, almost 80 or 90,000 on Twitter. You've got and then on Instagram you've got, I don't know, 5,000 followers, which is obviously phenomenal numbers. Like, when did you start on Twitter and LinkedIn, and like what are your strategies for growing that? Because obviously you have a great following. Any like some fun stuff that you can give the audience about how you did that?
Well, really, the first thing I'd tell them is sometimes it's better to be lucky than it is to be good. And I was an early adopter to both of those
Uh,
platforms. So, in fact, I was the 74,134th person to join LinkedIn, which sounds like a big number, but being one of the first 100,000 people, I was basically part of the beta group. And
yeah,
I
absolutely.
get an email from their CEO every couple of years or whatever, thanking me for being one of the first 100,000 people. So I was into LinkedIn in like 2002, and I'll tell you from the get go. Well, first of all, I haven't always been a marketer. I was in sales first, and
Hmm.
I was in sales for 20 years before I made the transition over into marketing. And I was still in sales at the time I joined LinkedIn, and I really viewed LinkedIn as this isn't a resume tool. This in B2B sales, you're always searching for um, who are the decision makers, who are the contacts, and what can I learn about them so that I don't go in totally cold. I thought this tool is the best pre-sales type tool you could have. And so
Yeah.
I really grabbed hold of it early and thought, this is, people can change jobs, but I'll always know where they are. And typically they kind of stay within the same industry, so perhaps I won't have to start sales motions totally from scratch, if I keep track of people. So early adopter of LinkedIn. I was I joined Twitter shortly after first came out, when it came out at South by Southwest, and was an early adopter to that. And then you mentioned SEO and such. I started seeing this power triangle in my head, and I noticed how LinkedIn, Twitter, and a blog, and a blog typically connected to a website, but between those three things, as you were building audience, I could actually see where it was driving. I could drive traffic to a website. I could drive traffic to
Yeah.
my website through those. I could drive traffic to my profile on LinkedIn through Twitter, and you could start seeing those connections. And once I started seeing those connections, I really started focusing on my target markets for those platforms and strategies for those platforms, to grow those followings.